Sure. Hello there. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the For Your Mental Health podcast. I'm your host, Dan. This is the podcast couch, which you might be familiar with from other episodes. It's a little different angle, so trying something new. But hello there. Hope you're doing well in your life today. But yeah, it's been a bit since I posted an episode. So this is number 26. I want to get back into it, talk a little bit about mental health and just how my life's going, and maybe you can relate to it in some way. It is late June in Chicago, summertime, and later tonight I'm about to go to a concert featuring Scandal, my favorite Japanese rock band. I just did 3 reaction videos to some of their music videos earlier this year, and it was a lot of fun. And it was just a great way to engage with the band and the people around it. So really enjoyed that. For me, it's been just a lot of work trying to build upon my eBay business. I'm trying to put together just more ways of financial support. I haven't worked a regular job in a while, and YouTube really doesn't pay anything, since I'm not really super consistent on it. So, I have to find other methods that really fit my lifestyle, fit what I'm comfortable with. And, maybe that's something that you can relate to out there in the world. We all have to pay the bills, right? In some ways. It is a capitalistic society, and, it's not really going away anytime soon, as far as I can tell. So you kind of make do with it what you can. When I started growing up, I really didn't have a focus on money. That was something that I felt like was kind of secondary, because what I wanted to do was focus on creativity, on experience. And so, while I did, help my mom with her paper route and during high school, and, I did work at Taco Bell for 9 days, and then Blockbuster Video after, during and after college. For me, it was just kind of secondary to me sort of discovering things about me through experience and having, the time to kind of do what I want to do. While that's great on one end, on another end, it can be a little limiting as far as building things in your life, like a career or your hobbies or just different things that require time and money. So for me, these days, I've looked to building this eBay business, focused research studies, freelance photography and videography, just different things throughout my life that I can use to create that sort of financial stability that can pay the bills and allow me to live the kind of life I want to live. So that's really important. I think when it comes to money and mental health, I do think those things are intertwined. If you don't have enough money to eat or to have clothes or to have a roof over your head, your mental health is probably going to suffer. That's just the way things work normally. It's a harsh reality. So I think for me, a big hurdle that I've had to sort of leap over, or at least attempt to leap over and put work towards, is, well, how am I going to get there? How am I going to find something that works for me, that isn't necessarily working the same retail jobs that I've done for the longest time? What can I find that makes me my own boss, and allows me to still have that freedom to explore the world, be creative, but also build my own, sort of business, my own finances, and feel comfortable with that, and feel like I'm in a place where I have the peace of mind, knowing that things are going to be okay. So yeah, that's been quite the journey so far. I've had some help along the way. There are some friends that have supported me, have guided me through the times where it's unclear which direction to take as far as certain decisions go. Like for instance, the shelf back here, you can see it's got all this kind of cool memorabilia on it. Those are all eBay items, things that I would like to sell. The Epic Anime haul video that you might have seen before this, all things I want to sell. So yeah, no, it's been fun. It's really been a lot of joy trying to find these deals, whether it's on Craigslist with the anime hauls or some of these items from thrift stores and different flea markets and things. I find it as a real adventure, and that's something I've always really wanted in my life. It's just a lot of adventurous times, to explore, to evolve, to experience. So yeah, that was never really something I thought that was for me. There is room for that, I suppose, if I were to maybe find something that was like in the film production sphere or in like the gaming sphere, or maybe something to do with sports, things that I'm passionate about, Japanese culture. If I found like a 9-to-5 job that, dealt with those things, maybe I'd be comfortable with that. I'm not sure. But for now, it's kind of unclear as to, what my I guess, career outlook is going to be. I will say, though, that, some of the time has allowed me to go to improv school, and I've been able to do shows at the IO Theater, which has been really amazing. I did all 1 through 5 levels, and then we had 8 weeks of shows on stage at the IO Theater, where countless big names have performed. So that was a real joy for me. I was lucky enough to get the hardship scholarship that they have there at the IO Theater. So they look for people from different less represented backgrounds to allow to have classes for free. So I was lucky enough to be able to get one of those scholarships and take classes and not have to worry about having to pay for them. So that was, once again, another relief off of my shoulders and a boon to my mental health, no doubt. So I would say try to find places in your life where you can make those things happen. Not everything requires you to be rich and well off to succeed. I mean, if you can put some work in, if you can, get someone to give you a chance, an opportunity to do something, then yeah, that's the way to go about it. It's like, we don't always have connections. We don't always have the money to make our dreams come true, but we always have ourselves to rely on. The big broad shoulders that I've I've cultivated over time. Just like relying on myself and knowing when to ask for help as well. Because it has to be a balance. There has to be a lot of you, but also a lot of other people to motivate you and assist you in your life's journey. So yeah, I think as far as mental health and money goes, those things are important, obviously, and together especially. If you were to, raise a child, for instance, in a household that, you weren't able to provide food or clothing, and it just would fall apart. Like those things have to be there. So, hopefully you're ready for those things if you're making those choices. For me, it has been just me for a long time. No significant other, no kids, no pets, no one to take care of besides myself. So I think for me, maybe it's been a little easier to sometimes just scrape by and not have to worry about working like a full-time job. But a lot of people are making the choice these days to skirt the responsibilities of a full-time job and look for something a bit more fluid because of things like the pandemic and automation of different jobs. Like the jobs I've worked, they might be automated very soon, like working customer service, working at a register or front desk. I mean, we might all be talking to robots and AI in the next few years. We already are. I think with those things in mind, it only makes sense to want to, do things that have a bit more lasting power, that will allow you to do what you want to do, follow your passions, and still, be able to pay the bills, and get things done. And that may take more of a, layered sort of process. It's not just get up, get to your job, clock in, sit there for 8 hours, then clock out, and then wait for the weekend. That may be becoming a thing of the past. It's something I've never really seen myself doing, like I said, but a lot of people feel the same way. Gig workers, Uber, Lyft, DoorDash, freelance work in general, it's booming. There's so many people out there that are willing to take the risk of putting themselves in a less, quote unquote, stable foundation, like a full-time job, to have more freedom to, do different things. And, I'm one of those people. So here we are, even on YouTube. YouTube is is another hustle. It has been for a bit now, you know, and I'm not getting paid for it right now, but these videos could lead to that, who knows? So I mean, it's a dual purpose, you know, to send a positive message, to try to send my experiences out there into the world that hopefully people can relate to and find strength and motivation from. But also, you know, it could be beneficial for me in the future, you know, if I can make ad revenue, who knows? You know, it's like, I don't know. I'd like to really get to 1,000 subscribers someday. You know, that's my goal. And it has been for a while. I just haven't really been consistent with it. But I'm still making videos. So, I mean, there's still a chance. There's still an opportunity for me to do that. Yeah, no, I think if you are on the fence about whether or not you want to, you know, follow a certain path, a certain career, you know, just ask yourself the question of, you know, what does this do for me besides money? Like, obviously money is important, but if we can put that to the side, if you can still pay the bills, what would you want to do? You know, what would be your ideal situation? Would you want more time to draw or paint or play music or dance or act or something? Like, is there a passion in your life that you feel like needs to be cultivated? You know, those are important things. You know, you only have the one life to live. So my suggestion is to, you know, to live it, you know, the way that you feel works best for your happiness, for your mental health. And, you know, we all have those choices to make. Hopefully you are surrounded with people that will help you make the one that's right for you. With that said, that is episode 26 of the For Your Mental Health podcast. Thank you for coming to watch this particular video or listen to it on Spotify or Apple Music, whatever kind of platform you have. I really appreciate it. If you can like and subscribe, that helps too. Like I said, I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers, and we can do more of this in the future and see where it goes. So yeah, much love, y'all. Hopefully you have a great rest of your summer. I'm looking forward to the 4th of July, you know, to different other festivals and just walking around the city and enjoying yoga class by the beach. So yeah. Hopefully you're ramping up for a cool summer too. But yeah, that was For Your Mental Health. I'll see you next time. Much love. Take care. And bye-bye for now. So long.